Hi, my name is Teresa Iyer. I have served Columbia County for the last 10 years. And in August, I had come here, the first commissioners meeting, I've come here. Chuck pulled me outside because I had some concerns about establishment clause violations and reports of community members reporting that 2 officers have been proselytizing and preaching to inmates and suspects without asking for it. I have 7 now documented complaints. The current chaplaincy program as it stands, there's no policy. It's also a liability. Chuck told me to investigate, and when I first, before coming to the commissioners meeting with my complaints, upon investigation, I found out that there's a major lawsuit going on against the sheriff's department for harassment by some officers. One officer, David Wallings, of a lesbian gal, 20 years old. One of the officers, David Wallings, has been kicked out of the academy for homophobia. I don't know if that's the environment that, you guys talk about being fiscally conservative, but you allow environments like this, and the liability is huge. I went to who I thought was the risk manager, and he said he quit on concerns about our sheriff's department not being certified for the last 2 years, almost 2 years, in CPR and first aid. Huge risk to the community, a huge liability as well for lawsuits. So right now we don't have a risk manager. We don't have an HR. We have a rogue police department with no discipline, not being disciplined. There's been multiple complaints to the police department unanswered for the chaplaincy program itself, amongst others. I read some others, and public records requested the complaints as well. There's been no outside investigations initiated by Joe Helm on complaints of officers. It's unprofessional. I encompass diversity and inclusivity. I walk amongst the homeless to the affluent in this community. Do you guys think that clients or the community is not going to say, hey, this is bothering me, when they don't feel comfortable, or these people are in positions of power. This is against policy. This is against law. And I'm appalled. And I'm asking that the chaplaincy be shut down as is, with no policy in place. You have 2 officers. One's not even a chaplain. Proselytizing and preaching to clients, with making them feel uncomfortable, not being asked. They're not asking for this while they're working in full uniform. This is a violation of constitutional rights as well, and a huge liability. You have an LGBT group coming to the courthouse to support this little girl that was harassed by the police department. You have the ACLU and the Freedom from Religion Foundation writing to our elected officials for violation of freedom of speech and for violation of constitutional rights of establishment clause violations, and now freedom of religion violations. I've never been involved in politics. You guys have never even seen me until this year. This isn't fun for me. I want it to stop. You guys have an obligation to protect our community. It concerns me. There's no risk manager, there's no HR, and everybody's running around doing whatever the fuck they want. Excuse my language. That's it.
Jane, well, thank you for your comment.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Do you have any other public comment?
Yeah, I have had a couple conversations since the AAUW forums, Canada's forum regarding the Metropolitan Park District. And this is both with people that were at that forum or the one last week, as well as at the courthouse. So people in the elections office and at the assessors. And there seems to be a lot of confusion regarding the actual legal framework for what is being voted on. So I don't know if there's like, I think someone at the courthouse floated the idea of maybe putting out a leaflet, just a page that explains, because even from the candidates, there was contradictory information coming out regarding like how that thing would be constituted and what the, you know, what its bounds or lack of bounds might be. And so I think it would be helpful for the voters if they had an information sheet that was authoritative, that actually made reference to the RCWs or whatever, under what other statutes this thing might be constituted, so that people could look that up and be more informed when they cast their ballots.
Commissioner Hall. Do you mind if I address that?
No, go ahead.
Mr. Rudd, as Dan said, it is RCW 35.61. Puts all the stuff out. I know it's not easy read, but it does explain everything, and it's on there, and this is the one that's formed under the authority of. So I guess I told people that it's not easy to find. You type in 35.61, that's what RCW. And then I guess you just kind of on a keyword you're looking for as to, you know, whatever you're looking for, eminent domain or disposition surplus property, you just click on that, it'll take you. So it would be nice if there was a full document, you know, if you cited RCW on it, but RCW is online and is accessible, so it's just dense, very, very wordy and full of information. Yeah, so that's the. I think it's so close to election season. Difficult to come up with something like that.
Yeah. Yes.
But it is uncanny how a certain group in this county is able to cherry pick certain parts of an RCW and cast aspersions upon that to basically say untruths about what the commission will be all about and how the commission will operate, up to and including the dollars, the pennies or whatever per thousand that they're able to levy. They're not necessarily going to levy 75 cents per thousand immediately and forever. It is like a school levy. It will be voted upon every year. It's not there forever.
Unfortunately, I don't have to find them for you, because it says right there. It says. The city RCW is what it says. It's not cherry pick, it's from RCW. That's the thing. I'm correct, 35.61.210. The maximum levy rate is subject to, it's like I said, it's dense, but if you go through the rest of 75 cents of the authorizing. Now, what they do or don't do is entirely dependent on who the Metropolitan Park District Commission can what they think of that.
That's what I just said.
But
I just said that they could go up to the maximum of 75 cents.
That won't be double.
it's not more than every year. It's authorized and it's in perpetuity for the RCW. And it's in the RCW this year. Okay.
Like the library district did not go there, but they asked for certain things. And they also said that they wouldn't ask for the maximum, and they did. Eventually. Diana McKinley is on the phone and she has a would like to make a public comment also.
Okay.
I'm gonna transfer her in there. Thank you. And then also somebody on Zoom to handle.
It's the commissioner's office. Oh, I meant her.
In your public comment?
Yeah, sorry about that. I had you off, man. So you're on speaker and you're on, so go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for letting me participate in the public comment. this last week, I received a flyer in my mail from the Columbia County Conservatives opposing the creation of the Metropolitan Park District. And the return address on it was yours, Mr. Amron. So I'd like to know, who exactly are you representing? Are you representing the citizens of Columbia County that voted you into the position of county commissioner? Or are you representing your Columbia County conservative group? I believe that through this flyer, if you are in direct violation of your authority, according to the Columbia County Employee Handbook, if you look it up, it's on page 9 and page 16, number 9, the use of a religious and political or fraternal influence. Mr. Amron, you were present for the presentations that were done by the Friends of the Pool to request the resolution to put forth Proposition 1 for voter approval of a Metropolitan Park District. And you were fully aware of the limited scope of that resolution for the Park District, and it was to provide maintenance and operation for the funding of a community swimming pool. However, the flyer that you participated in sending out is extremely false and misleading. We could take it point by point through your flyer that you state in there that voters relinquish all powers to the Metropolitan Park District. This is misleading and inaccurate. As any elected position, the voters have the ultimate power. They elect people to the office, and if they don't like what they're doing, they do not re-elect them. And that is something that all elected officials should remember. And as far as you're saying that they will have no choice in the recreational project, that is extremely misleading. And I find it very interesting that you added in there the trail. That is like flying a red flag in front of a bull. I find that very, very interesting that you put that in there. But the most interesting was your assessment on the 75-cent tax, that this is something that could be imposed without voter approval. It leads me to understand that maybe you don't understand how the county's aggregated limited proration order works. The county, the 590, starts out to an amount, and then each level is subtracted from it. The Metropolitan Park District is at level 5. Even if they were to make a budget request, there's no guarantee that money is there because everything is subtracted on the way down. So to me, that means that you don't understand how your own budget process works, that this is not a tax that is implemented without any voter approval. Should there not be any money in the aggregated amount, then that is where the Metropolitan Park District can ask for a yearly special level. But again, that is voted on by the public yearly. There is never a tax imposed without voter approval. And you are fully aware of that. However, you allowed these inaccurate and false statements to be put on the flyer and mailed out to every voter. And to me, again, I'm asking, who are you representing? Are you representing the citizens of Columbia County who put you in this position, or are you representing your conservative group? The Metropolitan Park District does not take away any community rights or ability. Again, I have to ask you, who are you representing? And I have to say, shame on you, Mr. Amron. You are not representing the citizens of Columbia County. You're using your position and your authority to use political influence to get what you want. We need to remember, we are in this sandbox together, and we can either work together and prosper, or we can be in a house divided, which I believe you are trying to do, and we will all fail. So I think you need to reassess, who are you representing? Thank you very much for the time.
Commissioner Hall, real quick address, just to say, Mr. McKinley, I'm addressing the people of Columbia County with this. I represent the people of Columbia County that I think I represent. And fortunately, we do have an election coming up that people can then make their choices known, but I'm doing it as I see it needs to be done. And that's for the people to decide if I'm doing it right or wrong. And unfortunately, you don't feel represented. I understand that. I don't feel represented a lot of time in local and political government myself, but I will do as I see fit, as I see the people of Columbia County want me to do, and that's all I can do. Thank you.
I appreciate your response, Mr. Amram. I do believe that you were fully misguided.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. McKinley. We're gonna go on to the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're running over on public comment. I do see there's a hand up on in the chat box. I'm not sure it's a phone. I'm not sure how to answer it. You know that, Virginia?
They should be able to just.
Unmute their mic.
So we have you as E-phone 7. If you'd like a couple minutes, go ahead.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, it's kind of fun following Diane. I'm sure everybody received the mailer she's talking about.
So
in the
could you
mail.
introduce yourself, please?
Elise Sevier.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I think Chuck needs to be receiving some sort of disciplinary action. He's using, hold on just a second. He's using his position and his influence to persuade people into thinking and believing this message that he endorsed on that deplorable mailer. It's full of half-truths. It's inflammatory. He's attempting to affect the outcome of this board. He can't be on the board himself, so he's trying to convince people that this Metropolitan Parks and Rec is a monstrosity. The people of Columbia County deserve the facts so that they can cast an educated vote. You're in violation of rule number 9 in the disciplinary rules. You're not representing Columbia County. You are representing you and your agenda. I hope you get voted out. That is all.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Sevier. I appreciate that. And again, I understand your feelings but that is the process. And you're right. This is, there is an opportunity for people to express how they feel about my stances on these things, and that is the election.
Okay, thank you, everyone.